All right, good morning, everyone. All right, let's start with Nasdaq on the daily time frame. I don't really see much. Mm, I mean, there's this daily supply zone, but it's already pretty far away from price, so it doesn't matter. What I'm kind of looking at on the daily time frame is this huge range here. I think this would be a good area for it to bounce. If we don't bounce from here, then the next stop could be lower down here to these lows and maybe take out that liquidity down to the 4 hour time frame. Um, there's this really clean 4 hour demand zone here that I like. So if I take shorts, I think this could be a good target. And then there's also this 4 hour supply zone, which the market rejected yesterday. If I somehow take longs, then I think this would be a good target. We also have this huge gap here, which I'm going to mark out orange. And honestly, the gap I think would only get filled only if the market is bullish today. And we'll see, because today I guess Trump speaks at the World Economic Forum. If you're wondering at what time, it's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Or that's when he speaks. So if the markets are choppy again today, or if they're slow, then that's probably why. I don't think they're going to be slow today just because yesterday was already slow, but it definitely could be slow again. So I'm going to keep that in mind. It's also Wednesday, so if we see any weird price action, then it could just be because it's Wednesday. On the 3 hour time frame, there is this 3 hour supply zone here that is pretty close to price. Yeah, it's only 70 points away from price. So we could easily get here when the market opens up. I'm thinking longs if price gets above 224 or 244. The trade would look something like this. Tight stop loss, and then I think it would go up to this 4 hour supply zone. If it goes over this 4 hour supply zone, over 420, 440, then I think the gap would be the next stop. And then from there, it's just, is it going to just tap into the gap or fill it? Don't know. So we'll see. Realistically, though, if I do take these longs, I would just target 200 ticks, right? Or 50 points, and then see what happens. Another trade idea could be shorts from this area here. So if the market taps into this area around, I would say around the 200s, right? And we see something like this, then it'd be a good short. And if I do take the short around this area, right, I have a tight stop loss. And then hopefully I find some sort of demand zone down here. But honestly, if the bears are strong, I think we should easily get down here to this 4 hour supply zone, which I know it seems pretty far away, but if there's good volume, then the move could definitely happen. I'm also going to mark this wick here as liquidity and these lows here, just so I know that it's there. On the 2 hour time frame, this is also a 2 hour supply zone. I'm not gonna mark it since there's already a 3 hour. This kind of could be kind of a 2 hour demand zone. I mean, not really, but I'm gonna mark it. I think it looks decent. Yeah. And I think that's it for the 2 hour time frame. There's not much on NASDAQ. On the 1 hour time frame, this kind of looks like it could be a 1 hour zone. And it looks like the market is kind of rejecting this 50% area. Honestly, though, I think we'll rip right through it before the market opens up. So I don't think I'm going to mark it. And then also, we just kind of have this 3 hour supply zone that looks better right above it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to mark it. I'm not going to mark it. Maybe I'll leave it on for now. I'll leave it on for now, and then if by 9:30 we went above this 50% line, then I'll just erase it. Because then from there, I'll just be focused on the 3 hour supply zone here. Also, yesterday, it looks like we created this supply zone here off of this 4 hour supply zone. I could mark this. I'm going to mark this zone here. I think it looks really good. I know it's stacked on top of the 4 hour supply zone, but it is a newer zone and it is a strong one. So if I do take longs, it could also be a good area to target as well. Okay. This 2 hour demand zone also looks like a 1 hour demand zone. And then we also have this crazy 1 hour demand zone here. It looks like a news candle. Oh, it's not. It looks like a market open candle to a crazy open. And then, I mean, this could be a 1 hour demand zone. It's not the best, but I'll mark it because it's at the lows. Which I'll also mark this low here as liquidity in case the market does want to sweep it. Alright, down to the 90-minute time frame. We also have this 90-minute supply zone here. I'm not going to bother marking it since I already have a couple zones up there. This 2 hour demand zone also looks like a 90-minute zone. And that looks like that's it. Down to the 45-minute. On the 45-minute, we have 33 minutes. I mean, if this candle here closes out strong, this could be a demand zone. This also looks like a 45-minute supply zone. I'm not going to mark it though. You can see that 50% line aligns with the 3 hour. And then, yeah, I'm also going to erase this 1 hour zone. We already ran through the 50% line. I didn't think we'd do it so soon, but I had a feeling we'd do it before market open. Yeah, like I said, this could be a zone here. But the candle hasn't closed, so it's just too early to tell. This looks like a 45-minute demand zone here. I'm going to mark it because the 1 hour zone that's inside of it is pretty tiny. It's very small. Alright, down to the 30-minute. Not much. Near price. Let's see all the way over here. How old is this price action? This price action Oh, it's from December. Not that old. $30-minute zone right there. Down to the 15-minute time frame. And there's not much. There's not much. Then we're already approaching this 3 hour zone here. I hope we don't get above 222 before the market opens up. I think if the market opens up above 222, we should see it continue to go up here. And hopefully, if that does happen, if the market does open up above this line here, then the only way I would take the long is if we retest it and then bounce off of it. If there is no retest, then unfortunately, like, I'm just gonna have to watch it go up. If it does go up and I miss this long, I'm not gonna be too worried. Just because there is this huge area of supply, and this area of supply, we rejected off yesterday, so we could reject off of it again. Also, we haven't really seen any price if the longs come in at market open. I think it's due. Another thing I could see happening is just like the longs are gonna slowly come in today, and then when Trump speaks, the market is just gonna dump. Depending on what he says. I could see that happening. It's happened before. So we'll see. I think if the markets are slow though, like, we'll definitely know why. I think it'll be because they're waiting. We're waiting for what the heck? If the markets are slow, then I think it'll be because it's waiting for his speech or something. Alright, that's it for the zones on NASDAQ. There's not too many, but the zones that there is, I think they're pretty strong. All of them. I want to look at session liquidity. Okay, looks like it's just London highs, which we're already very close to. And then right now we're at true day open. Yeah, I don't know, but true day open, like, I would say like 80% of the time aligns up with some sort of zone. Like, true day open right here is right at the zone. And then yesterday, there was another supply zone here that it aligned perfectly with it. Does that a lot. Alright, let's look at US 30. Which I think US 30 could go lower, not gonna lie. If you look at the daily time frame, we have this daily demand zone here that the market has bounced off from 2 to 3 times here. And I said yesterday, I think if we had a bearish day yesterday, I think the next stop would be down here to this daily demand zone. Yeah. It's also too because this area here was some sort of area of support, and it wasn't supportive enough, right? Like, we ran through it. So I think we could go lower on US 30. Ooh, whoops. Okay. Actually, let me erase everything. Alright, yeah, this daily's on here. So if I do take shorts today, I think this could be a really good target for the market. 4-hour time frame. Oof. On the 4-hour time frame, I was looking at this 4 hour demand zone here, which I could still look at, but I want to see it on the smaller time frame. Yeah, I don't know. That looks bad on the smaller time frame. I don't like how it did this right here. It had a great reaction before that though. Like right here it was perfect. Right here it was good. But this price action here, I don't like that. I'm gonna mark this gap here orange. I mean, this looks like a 4 hour demand zone down here, right? But it's inside of the daily zone, so it's not that helpful. This looks like a really good 4 hour zone. Again, though, it's just inside of that daily zone. And I want to see. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, let's go to the 3 hour. 3 hour time frame. Damn, there's not much. US 30 looks rough. Yeah, like this could have been a 3 hour supply zone. I mean, I don't know if it is. I'll mark it. I'll mark this 3 hour supply zone. But I don't think it's gonna be helpful. We look like we're about to run past it. On the 2 hour time frame, there's not much either. Not many zones. But on US 30 at least, to me, it looks like it needs a pullback. We haven't really seen a strong pullback. I could see US 30 like breaking out of this little trend line here. I could see that happening. And then this could be like a 1 hour demand zone here, but the candle hasn't closed, so it's just too early to tell. Yeah, that's rough. All right, this is a good 1 hour supply zone, and this is the supply zone I took a trade off of yesterday. The reaction off of it was very clean. Okay, 90-minute time frame. Not much, not much. Yeah, there's just I can already tell Nasdaq looks way better when it comes to the zones. Damn, this could be a really clean zone as well. But the candle closes in 23 minutes. So it's just too early to tell. I'll mark this supply zone here. Fair value gap on the 4 hour, that's where price is holding. Yeah, Trump is speaking. Okay, this looks like a good 30-minute supply zone. Is honestly not that helpful though. Because it's just far away from price. Look at US 30 as well. Breaking past this pre-market range here. It's not really range, but it's pre-market resistance and it's breaking past it. So that looks bullish. If the market does end up opening above 792, the only way I would take longs if I see a retest. Other than that, like if the market goes straight up, and I really wouldn't have a way of entering. I'm gonna mark this as 30-minute supply here. I'm not sure if this candle here is an actual basing candle. It's hard to tell because you can't really see the color. But I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna mark it. Yeah, it looks clean. Yeah, this is a crazy pre-market pump. Same on Nasdaq. All right, 15-minute time frame. Try to find something, but I doubt it. Okay, 15-minute demand here. Okay, that's something. This also looked like a really good 15-minute demand zone here. And it's chopped, so it's like not even good. This zone, same shit. It's not even good. Damn, US 30 looks rough. The only way I would trade it is if it continues to go up higher. Alright, I got 6 more minutes for market open, so really quick, I'm just gonna do support and resistance. Yeah, this looks like a really good demand zone. It's just, it hasn't closed. Yeah, that's rough. How much do you try to make per day? So I risk around 250 per trade, and then I target 1 to 2. So I would say like right 500 per account. So I just try to target 1 to 2. And then if I win that first trade, then I just call it a day. Because the worst thing that could happen is like turning a green day into a red day. It's just, you get very emotional, right? When you have that money and then you lose it in like 10 minutes, then you just start to do stupid things. So that's why I just have that rule. After my first win, like, you're done, you know? And also with the first one, it's like, if it's gonna be your only win of the day, then you have to make it count. So you kind of have to hold it to TP. You know, there's not really another choice. Lonnie, I'm in eval gel since 3 weeks ago. Just take it slow, right? Like if you rush it, you're just gonna make it worse. Try to take it slow. Try to take it serious. It's hard to take eval serious, but you really have to take them serious. Why is there a dash line here? Oh, that's the, okay, never mind. I was gonna say. Like, it's hard to take eval serious because you know you can't get a payout off of it. But once you do take it serious and you actually have a plan with it, once you get funded, it's like you're not really questioning if you'll get a payout. It's just a matter of time. You know, because you know what you were doing in the eval. You weren't just taking random trades, you were following something. All right. I think that's it. We got 2 more minutes for market to open. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the best zones marked out. I mean, on US 30, like, right, we already closed above this 3 hour supply zone. So if we stay above it, then I'm hoping we go up higher to this 30-minute supply zone. And honestly, I would expect the market to break past this 50% line. If that happens, then I would take longs and target this supply zone up here, right? Or even this 1 hour supply zone. But realistically, I would only target 100 points, which would be perfect. And then if the market goes down from here, on US 30, I just have to watch it go down. Like there's really not really any zones close to price, which is very unfortunate. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. And then the same thing on Nasdaq. If it goes down, honestly, like I would really just have to watch it until it taps this 2 hour demand zone down here, which is 200 points away. So that's gonna be tough to watch. I'm hoping that the market goes higher. I am. Um, this looks like a good. Oh shit. This looks like a good supply zone here that we ran through. But if we retest this area, then could take a trade off of it. Mm, never mind. Never mind. Like it's just not it. It's not good. Then even with this 3 hour supply zone, like it's a really good supply zone, but since it's pre-market, you just didn't get the best reaction off of it. All right, well here's market open. All right, this is good. US 30 is going up. Where's VWAP? Okay, Nasdaq's right at VWAP. Hopefully Nasdaq gets away from VWAP, whether it's up or down. And then on US 30, we're above this 3 hour supply zone. It looks like we've retested this area. So far we're bouncing off of it. But I do want to see these highs break. And then if the highs do break, I could take a long there. But I'd want to take a long above 888. And then on Nasdaq, it's like just the complete opposite. We're below the 3 hour supply zone. We've came back below this 50% line, kind of retested this 50% line. Normally, like I would bet this would go lower, but it's just at VWAP right now. So if it's gonna go lower, like it needs to be ASAP. It needs to be strong. All right, I'm looking mainly at US 30, trying to see if it gets above 888. Okay, it didn't close above 888, so now I'm just waiting for the next 1 minute candle. Lonnie, when you were working while trying to make trading work, you always knew you were gonna make it, because I've been kind of lost lately. Like, before I started trading, like, I don't want to seem cocky, but like, I've always wanted to, like, be successful at making a lot of money with something. I just didn't know it was trading, right? But while I was trading and I was failing, there was a lot of times where like I would question like, damn, like, is this really gonna work out? But that's where like your faith really has to come in. Like, you really just have to trust in God, right? Or in something bigger than you, you know? That's what really got me through like those days where I just blew accounts, traded silly. Like, it's just pure faith. Even after you're successful, when you have times of just really bad trading, like, it's just faith that gets you through it, you know? But yeah, that's a good question. And also too, like, when I was struggling with trading, I had many days where I wanted to quit. Many days. I mean, I think I told myself I was gonna quit, right? And like, I didn't, because it was just like I wanted it so bad. Honestly, guys, like, this is a tough market open. This is reminding me of yesterday. I mean, the first 5 minute candle closed out strong. That's pretty good. Now we just need a continuation. I like how US 30 closed above this 3 hour supply zone here. I think that makes it seem pretty bullish so far, right? Now I'm just kind of waiting for that confirmation to take along, which for me would be price getting above 887. So we'll see if that happens. This area here is also technically right now, like, I would normally take shorts off of this because it is rejecting, but I'm not comfortable with taking the shorts. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think the shorts look better on NASDAQ. It's just VWAP. It's struggling at VWAP. And like, yesterday's price action on VWAP was not cool. It was not good at all. So I wouldn't even take a trade on NASDAQ. Even though I do think the shorts look stronger. It's just VWAP. Like, I don't trust it. How big is the opening range? Okay, okay. I mean, the opening range is pretty strong on NASDAQ. So that's good. There's decent volume. Now it's just about where does the market want to go. Okay, on US 30, I really like this bounce off of the white line. Now what I want to see is I want to see a break above 887. I like this bounce though. I do. Broke the highs. Okay, this is good. 15 more seconds here. I want to see it close strong. That's what I want to see. And it, it did not close out strong at all. So I'm definitely not taking longs unless I see a candle close above 887. That's that shit right there, guys. You guys saw that on US 30. Like, it was just a huge move up, and then the last 10 seconds, candle turns red. That's like, that's another hint for the market being, I don't even know the word. It's just weird. Still has a chance, though. We got, what is this? One more, oh no, 20 seconds for the 5-minute candle to close. So, we'll see. Still got a chance here. It's looking strong. Nope. I don't like that candle close. I mean, the longs could pop in still. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for confirmation. Nasdaq, I think Nasdaq still looks bearish. Like, we've retested this area here and just rejected it. It's just struggling to get past VWAP. Oh, this candle here might close out good. Yeah, I don't like it. Like, Nasdaq's going down, but I think US 30 is gonna go up. Yeah, that's not a good candle close either. And like, technically I would usually take shorts now. I'm gonna have to, because we're rejecting this area here. I mean, the only way I would take shorts on US 30 is if it gets below like this 5-minute wick here at 819. Right? Then from there, I think it'd be pretty bearish. I don't know. I just think the bigger time frame like needs a pullback, you know? Is also too, like, usually Nasdaq and US 30, like, I'm usually like, you know, oh, they're bullish together, or oh, they're bearish together. But today's just the opposite. Like, I think Nasdaq looks bearish and then US 30 looks bullish. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm definitely hesitant with the entries, because I don't like the price action so far. Yeah, we've had weak openings so far this week. Maybe it's because the market is actually waiting for that Trump speech, or it just has a lot of uncertainty, you know? Yeah, like, Nasdaq looks bearish slightly, but it's struggling to get past VWAP, which is just, it's not is not a good sign at all. Okay, here we are back above 888. My confirmation for long would be a candle close above 887, right? And then something like that. Small retest with a continuation up higher. But that, it needs to happen very quick. very quickly. Alright, that's a good candle close. Here's the retest. Now, if it breaks the highs pretty soon here, then I would take longs. And that's not what I want to see. Yeah, that's not what I want to see. We'll see how it closes out. If this red candle here closes below 887, then I'll take off my order. Then from there, like, I would not like it. Yeah, I'm gonna take out my long order there. I mean, like, the long still could pop in, right? But that's not the confirmation that I wanted. Here's a 15-minute candle. Okay. I would say the opening range on NASDAQ, I think, is not very small, but it is small compared to, I think yesterday's opening was very strong. Yeah, like even on the 1 minute time frame, it just looks choppy. Okay, that's a good candle close. Damn, like, I like the long. It's just, I don't know. I don't trust it. Normally, I would take the longs here, but like, it's not what I want to see. So honestly, if the longs do come in, like, I might miss them. I mean, if this candle here closes above 938, then from there I'd be way more confident. I mean, Nasdaq's breaking past the opening range, so that's good for the longs. Since we have a 1 minute candle close above this white line here, yeah, we should see a bounce off of this area. which is doing so far. Right now I'm looking at this NASDAQ 5-minute candle to see if it closes above that opening range. Which it might, so I might trade it. If NASDAQ breaks the highs, then I'm going to take a long. Yeah, I'm in long on NASDAQ. And I'm going to put 100 tick stop. And then I'm just going to target a 1 to 2. So my take profit is around 309, around there. What time is it? 9:52. Okay, I'm going to go break even here. So my stop is around 260. We got one more minute for this 5 minute candle to close. Definitely want to see it close above 280. Honestly, I don't like the break even stop. I don't. But gotta go break even when you have trailing drawdown, you know? I'm gonna move my stop up to 270. Around that area. 267. Yeah, I think if we get past that, then I'll probably get stopped to break even. So I might as well lock in some profit. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna start to trail this on the 5 minute candle. Put my stop at 274. $275. And then my take profit is going to be around 309. We're getting very close to it, so I'll probably trail it very tight soon. Yeah, as soon as we break the highs, I'm going to trail it tight. There it is. I'm taking profit here. Took profit. Oh my god, I took profit. Whoa. Bro, my order got like taken. I was in a fucking another trade. I'm out of that. That was good. That was good. I think this could go higher as well. Honestly, I think it could go up to 363. That was GG's. That was really good. Like, I chose to trade Nasdaq because it looked cleaner. Whereas if you look at the longs on US 30, it wasn't as clean as Nasdaq. That was really good. That was clean. That was clean. Wow, look at that. That move up. If you missed out on the longs, I think you still have a really good opportunity if it goes up to the 400s. Because this 400 area here, we rejected yesterday. So there's a bunch of supply around this area. And I think if the buyers are really strong, we could break past it so we could touch up on the gap. I wonder if, so I don't want to say I was bullish on the DAX. Like, I really wasn't, but if you just looked at the markets, it was just due for a pullback. That's why I said it. Like, I mean, I never said I was bullish, but I did say it looks like it needs a pullback. We haven't really seen a strong pullback ever since that move down. So, yeah. But the reason I took longs was because, so we had this 3 hour supply zone here, and I was looking at it. Then I saw the market just kind of chop up on it. Like, usually if I saw these rejections here off of the zone, like, I would take short, right? But VWAP was there and it was struggling to break past it. So once I saw that we were near VWAP, I was just like, damn, like, I don't like shorts there because I don't like trading near VWAP. It's just always some BS. Especially if you're a breakout trader. Like, if you're planning to trade that breaks past VWAP, it just has to have really good volume, which the market didn't have when it first opened up, at least today, right? And then if you look at the 5 minute time frame, right here we had a 5 minute candle close above the 50% line of the 3 hour supply zone. So I thought, okay, that's clean. Like, I like that. But we also had this 5 minute supply zone here that we created, I guess, once the market opened up. So I marked it out and I was just like, okay, if price breaks above this 50% line, like, I'm definitely taking a buy there, because to me that's just very bullish. And then also just the bounce off of VWAP, that also, at the time it wasn't a confluence for me, but now that I look at it, it is another confluence for buying the market as we bounce off of it, right? And yeah, that was good. Yeah, I could have gotten an earlier entry, maybe a couple ticks slower, but I wanted to make sure that the buying was actually good, and to me that was a break of the highs, and that's where I put my buy order. Yeah. And then at a 1 to 2, to me it's like, with this trailing drawdown situation, like, I don't get anxious, but it's just like I need to lock in the money because if I don't, then I'm screwed, you know? So that's why I've been trailing my stops a lot and not really letting it hit take profit, because I'm just kind of scared of the trailing drawdown. So, but the good news is that once we hit 2600, I won't have trailing drawdown, and that's going to be very helpful. And that's also going to help me, like, either leave a runner or, like, actually hold on to my winners where I think the market could hit. Like, yes, this was a good trade, but in reality, I think it'll hit up to 361. That's what I'm thinking. Obviously, though, you can't really hold trades like that when you have trailing drawdown. It's just not safe, you know? But yeah, one and done. That was it for me. That was a clean trade as well. And that was also a breakout trade, which, like, usually when the opening range is this week, the opening range was less than 100 points. Usually I wouldn't expect a breakout, right? But I paid more attention to the area that we were at, right? And then the bounce off of VWAP was also like, maybe that's why it was a weak opening, because it was right at VWAP. Yeah. And then originally I was thinking longs on US 30. I was looking for it and I said if the Market gets above 887, then I would take a long. But I was looking at the 1 minute time frame, and to me, it just wasn't like it wasn't good enough, you know? And I don't know, it wasn't good enough because I was thinking over here, once this 943 candle closed above 887, then from there I wanted to see the market do this, which it kind of did, but it just didn't do it quick enough. And I'm trying to see if I took longs here. Let's say I took longs there. Okay, the TP would have hit for sure. But yeah, but I would have been break even. That's the thing. I would have this trade here would have been break even for me unless I let it play out and I didn't break even. And then also another thing that just kind of made me want to take longs on Nasdaq was yesterday. Like yesterday I was looking for shorts on US 30 and they did play out, but it played out way quicker on Nasdaq. And like on Nasdaq it was such a small movement, but that small movement would have given me my TP in like I think it was what like 5 minutes. And that's also another reason why I decided to trade Nasdaq and not US 30. Also, the volume on US 30 was kind of low. Once it did officially like break above this 50% line here, what I wanted to see was a clean bounce off of this white line here, which it was struggling to bounce off from. That's also another reason why I didn't trade US 30. Even though the longs did play on US 30, they played out way more cleaner on Nasdaq. Yeah. Yeah, let's journal this. Do you use the Osmo Pocket as your webcam? Yeah, I do. I do. Cause like the webcam that I have is it's a Logitech one. I don't know if you can see it. It's this one, and like the quality is just it reminds me of like a laptop, you know? But the quality on the Osmo Pocket is just very clean. They met little buddy. What's up? W's in the chat. Yeah, that was good. Thanks, Lonnie. You've been watching your content since 1.5 thousand followers. Yeah, I know you, Diane. I think your name's Diana. I've seen your comments. I definitely remember you. I've lost so much money on evalves, it's not even funny. Yeah, you gotta slow down. Try to take the evalve serious. Try to follow your daily loss limit on the eval. It's hard. I know it's hard to take eval serious, but it's worth it. Even for me today, like that's a struggle that I do have. Is taking eval serious. How did you take 100 contracts? I don't understand. Please explain. Okay. So on Tradeovate, the way that you copy trade all accounts is you need to basically combine all of the contracts into one trade. So in reality, this is 100 contracts for all 20 accounts, right? So 100 divided by 20, that's just 5 contracts per account. And I'm trading micros. I don't know if you could tell. So that in reality that was 5 micros per trade. So it's not a crazy trade. is a very low risk trade. It looks crazy though, I know. Is it better than Top Step? Is Tradeovate better than Top Step X? Like the features are better on Top Step X for sure, right? Like I love Top Step X because you can see your profit on the stop loss thing, and you can manage it pretty well. But on Tradeovate, it's way more smoother. And there's also less issues with Tradeovate. Tradeovate is also like a regulated broker, so it's more trusted. Whereas the Platform X or the TopStep X, I don't think it's actually regulated. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. Not gonna lie. I need to double check that, but yeah, I don't think it's. If it was regulated, they probably would be like an actual broker, which they're working on right now. They've announced that it's on their website. Like if you look at their website, it says something like about how they're gonna be an actual broker or something. What account size do you usually go for? I usually go for 50Ks. I've just had way more success with them. My first payout though, it was with Apex and it was with, I'm pretty sure it was 100K account. But like that was before, you know. And honestly, that first payout shouldn't have happened. Like I got really lucky with that payout. I did. I'm new to trading. Tell me you don't have 20 funded 50K accounts. Yes, I do. I have 20 funded accounts with Apex. They're the only prop firm that allows you to have 20 accounts. That's the only reason why I'm trading Apex. I don't recommend Apex for beginners. There's just too many rules. The trailing drawdown's hard to get by. And I think Apex like attracts beginners on purpose because the accounts are cheaper, the sales are better, but unfortunately like it's just not beginner friendly. But it's very beginner attractive, you know, if that makes sense, hopefully. But yeah, that's why I don't like to talk about Apex. And I don't talk about their sales either. You're a beginner? Bro, I'm not a beginner, trust me. I don't think beginners get as much payouts as I did last year. And I don't think beginners get this far on their accounts. I mean, I'm not that far, but I mean, I know a beginner that tried doing this and they got too emotional with it. Beginners don't take losses and accept them. Beginners don't take one win and walk away, you know, like I do. I mean, technically, like, it depends on what you consider beginner, right? It depends. If we're talking like 1 year and that's a beginner, then I'm not a beginner. I've been trading for 3 to 4 years. But if you consider that a beginner, then maybe I am to you. You're comparing yourself to stupid people. Bro, who are you? Who are you? I I don't know why you're saying all this. If you're a good trader, why are you watching me trade, you know? All I'm saying is that you should elevate your thinking. Elevate it how though? Tell me. I'm actually open to learning. So your contract size is fixed based on your stop loss. Um, for some people it's like that, but for me, most of my stop losses are the same. I try to have them the same. That's why the contract sizing stays the same because the stop loss size stays the same, you know. But for other traders, their stop loss size changes based on the trade, so they kind of have to change their sizing. It really depends on what type of trader you are. I just came by literally just now. But I answered the question. You said that I should elevate my thinking. So I'm asking how I'm into that. I'm into that elevate thinking stuff. So I'm actually open to understanding what you're saying. How much was it each account cost you? So I got it on a 90% sale. So each account was like, I think it was $16, something like that. And then the activation fee was 65, which was a very good sale. They don't have it. They do have a sale now, but honestly, guys, you should wait till Apex. If you're planning to trade with Apex, first of all, know all their rules, and then second, like wait for their 90% sale. That's the only time I would buy an Apex account is if they have that sale. Okay, here's Nasdaq tapping into this 361 area. If I wasn't targeting a 122, I would have targeted this 360. And to me, it's just trading zone to zone, right? Like if you break past the zone, most likely it'll tap the next zone. So that's the way I kind of trade. That's why I also thought it was a good long. That's crazy though. We're back at the area that we rejected yesterday. Oh, on NASDAQ and on US 30. This is the area where I took the short yesterday. And it worked out perfect, but we're here again today, and I don't know, the buyers look really strong. I think today's the day where hopefully it taps the gap or it fills it. And then when Trump speaks, we'll see what he says. We'll see. How old are you? I'm a baby. I'm 21. Some people think I'm 15. Well, and I get that comment all the time. How old are you? How old are you? My parents are about to be in their 50s and they look like they're in their 30s. So that's where I get it from. I just have really good genes. So I think when I'm like in my 40s, I'll still look how I look now. That's honestly what I think. But yeah, I get it from my parents. Alright, let's journal this really quick and then I'll call it a day. Oh, and then also with my TradeZella, the resync button is actually working now. Before it wasn't working at all. But now it does. Yeah. He already spoke. What? Are you serious? I missed it? Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't care that I missed it. Like, I took the good trade. The only reason I watch Trump speaking sometimes is only when I'm trading. Because I want to see if he says certain things, and maybe that'll shake up the markets. Oh my god. He did speak, and I completely missed it. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, he did. Wait, what? What time is it? 10 a.m. Then the shit was wrong. It said here that he was speaking at 2:30. Where is it? Trump tracker. Oh. Yo, like, what am I doing? Bro, cause I read this and it was 2:30 p.m. local. So I was like, "Oh, it's local my time." No, it's local in their time. Oh my god. I'm very slow for that. That's crazy. I can't believe I just did that. I mean, like, it doesn't matter anymore, but I definitely read that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I'm glad I wasn't watching him, right? If I was watching him, maybe I wouldn't have taken the trade. But now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Most likely, he probably said something good and it made that bounce. And now I'm understanding. I wonder what he said. He most likely was just tooting his horn like he does. He likes doing that. Okay, and then I know this number looks crazy, almost 40,000, but that's just all the accounts together. So today is 9.7k. Sounds crazy. In reality, it's just around 500 per trade. So, yeah, I don't want to mislead anyone. It's also Wednesday, too. Good Wednesday. Good Wednesday. We got 2 more trading days. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, I'm going to get 5 accounts. I've been consistent on one 50k, but once I tried for five, first time I blew it. Can you give advice? When you trade multiple accounts, you have to take it very serious, right? You have to manage risk properly in a way that when you take your trade and you lose it, it's not going to affect you as much, right? So, for example, the trade that I took today, I was only risking 250 on this trade. So if I lost this trade, it wouldn't have made me like very stressed out, right? Because it's a very small loss and it's a very planned loss, you know? So that's number one when you're trading multiple accounts. Second thing is follow your daily loss limit. So if you're trading with TopStep and you have the TopStep X platform, make sure you have that lockout button, or that make sure you have the settings to where if you lose a certain amount, you're not going to, or sorry, if you lose a certain amount, it'll lock you out. That's where you should switch it to and then actually follow it. You just have to have a clean structure, a clean plan that you could follow. That's really the key to trading multiple accounts. And it was 65 each. What helped you be disciplined and following your plan? Before I wasn't as disciplined, but I had this like it I don't even know how to explain it. It was just a period in my life where I decided like I just had enough of my BS, so I like completely locked in. And to me that was like meditating, fasting, eating correctly, and just doing strict disciplined things outside of training. And then creating those habits made it easier for me to follow kind of the same habits with trading. That's why I tell people like, if you're struggling with discipline with trading, try to have it in your actual life and maybe it'll go into your trading. It's not that taking cold showers is like immediately gonna, make you disciplined. It's just it changes you as a person, right? Doing things that you don't want to do. That's what it's about, you know? But at the same time, it's like you also need to understand what you're doing wrong. If you're over trading, maybe you're over risking, then you need to change it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Maybe you're like just taking it too fast. You need to slow down. Wow, the market is going higher. It's officially pulling back up higher. So I guess the Trump speech was good. It looks like it was good. Now that I zoom out and just look at the market, it really looks like we broke past VWAP, we just came back to retest it, and we bounced off of it again. That's really what it looks like. How long, as a beginner, do you think someone should wait to gain enough experience to go for the challenge of a funded account? I would say, like, once you already know what strategy you're doing, how to execute it, what you're looking for, once you understand the rules of the funded account or the challenge, then get actual experience, right? Because honestly, like when you demo trade, when you first start out, it's good, but then when you switch over to doing actual things like maybe a challenge or a funded account or your live account, is just way different emotions. And then that's where the actual experience starts. That's where you actually get real emotions going. So it's up to you. Some people like to stay demo trading for a while, which there's nothing wrong with. But then they wonder, I was doing so good demo trading. Now it's like, what am I doing? It's because it's two different experiences. One, you have no emotions. The other, you have all the emotions. Lonnie, you developed a habit so you don't rely on discipline. Yeah, I would say so too. Like, beginning of last year, I would stress and just be like, damn, like I didn't meditate this morning, da da da, or I didn't do this, before training. But this year, there's been some days, and not only this year, but also last year, the end of last year, there's days where like I literally just wake up, open the charts, and like start trading, and it's a fine day because I created the habit of like, actually following rules and stuff. But even with being that way, like I still try to wake up early, work out, or wake up early and meditate. Like today, I didn't really need to meditate, but I wanted to, so I did. I meditated for exactly 6 minutes, which I know is not much, but it's something. How many losing trades do you give your account before blowing them? Let me make some math, right? So usually I trade a 50K account with $2,000 of drawdown. And then I risk 250 per trade. So 2,000 divided by 250, that's 8 trades. Damn, now that I do the math, it don't sound like much, right? Only 8 trades. But if I look at my data and I look at the trades that I've taken, usually I don't lose 8 trades in a row. If it's actually an A plus setup, I don't lose 8 trades in a row. So 8 trades to blow an account sounds like, whoa, like you could blow that fast, but I mean 8 trades takes about 4 days. So if I lose 4 days in a row, then I'll most likely blow the account. But that's not really gonna happen if I follow my A plus setup. Unless the markets aren't in my favor, right? But there has been many trades where the market isn't in my favor, yet it's still a really good setup, so I take it and it plays out. So I don't know, I think also my setup has just gotten better the past couple of months. So even if it was a slow market, I don't think I'd be struggling as much as I did last year. Because remember, last year I would only take breakout trades. This year I'm more open to taking reversals. So slow markets aren't really a horrible thing for me, While the markets are bullish, it looks like it looks like it wants to tap that gap. Let's see if it fills it or if it just taps into it and rejects it. Great trader don't rely on discipline because being disciplined requires willpower. You need to get to the point where following your rules is your identity. Oh my, why'd I say it that way? That's when you will become a successful trader. Yeah, I agree. But if you're struggling with following your rules at first, then I do think being disciplined outside of trading could help you, you know, with your trading. At least at first. It's only for certain people, but I do think it could help you in the beginning. It helped me, because it got me into that habit of just doing things that I didn't want to do, but I knew I needed to do. It got me in the habit. Became a funded a week ago and I was in losses for a couple of days, having negative 1,000 on 50K. What would you do in my position? I've been in your position, and the worst thing you could do when you're in drawdown is try to rush out of the drawdown, right? Because once you rush out of it, then you start making stupid decisions. So I would take it slow and go back to the basics of, damn, what is my A plus setup, right? If you don't have an A plus setup, you need to create your playbook, or you need to journal something, because there is going to be a lot of periods in your trading where you're going to question yourself, damn, do I know how to trade anymore? I've lost 4 trades in a row. It's going to happen. It happens to everyone. And when you're in that position, you need to look back at your data, because your data is going to remind you, okay, this is what I did when I was doing really good, and this is what I'm not doing now. That's why I stress about journaling so much, because it's not that I want to journal now. It's that later in the future, when I am in a funk, right? When I'm in a losing streak, I'm going to want to look at what I was doing before in order to fix it. So I get banned from Apex from buying new evalves. I've withdrawn around 35k from them. Can you recommend a prop? Bro, I don't know why Apex is banning so many traders. That's why, like, with these accounts that I have, I hope that I actually last with them. You know, after that first payout, like, that's just the start. I want to get to that sixth payout, to the uncapped payout. That's the goal. And I think it's possible because I did it with TopStep. I got 5 payouts with one account. And the way I did it, taking it slow. But a prop firm I would recommend is Tradeify. There's many different options with Tradeify. You can get straight to funded accounts, or you can get an account that once you pass the eval, you can choose between, daily payouts or not daily payouts with a bigger payout cap. And then the third one I would recommend is Alpha Futures. They have really good rules and they're very well trusted. I would recommend TopStep. I think they have one of the best payout rules for sure. But certain things that they've done recently are a bit weird to me, right? Like the whole Platform X thing and then removing Tradeovate. To me, it's just a bit sketchy, you know? That's why I like Tradeify a bit more right now. But TopStep's still a really good prop firm. All right, let me journal. I keep saying I'm gonna journal and I don't. Okay, where is it? All right, this is gonna be in the free Discord in chart analysis. Boom. What was I doing? Okay, I'm bringing out the trade. Yeah, I only took one trade, so it's going to be very simple. I'm going to label this 5 minute. Where is it? Okay, this is the 1 minute screenshot. Boom. And then the 5 minute screenshot. Crazy entry, by the way. It's not a bottom tick, but it's still a really good entry. Okay, so I took longs on NASDAQ after it tapped, after a took longs on NASDAQ after a 5 minute candle closed above 50% of a 3-hour supply zone. So that's right there. Another confluence for this long could have also been the orb trade, right? The opening range breakout. That played out very well today, not gonna lie. And then it also broke past a 5-minute supply zone. And then the entry was at the at the break of the highs, which was right here, which is honestly, it's a very how do you say, it's a very careful entry. Like, it's extra confirmation entry. Usually, yeah, the entry would have been way sooner, but I wanted extra confirmation because the opening was small and it was a bit choppy on the smaller time frame. But yeah, today was good. It's still good too. It's still going. Yeah, it's breaking past this 4 hour supplies on here. I think it wants to touch up on the gap. I do. And then we'll see if it fully fills the gap or if it just taps into it. Can't join Discord. Can you send a direct link? Yes. Let me see. Alright, I got the link. I'm gonna send it. Hopefully that works. Would you recommend building more of a buffer or just taking a payout? I used to be the person that just build the buffer and that was the only thing I would focus on. But it did cause me to miss out on some payouts. Right? Like, there was a time where I could have taken a 7K payout and like have a smaller buffer, and then I got in a losing streak and I ended up losing the accounts. And like, it's just the worst feeling, right? To be able to take a payout and then you just lose it basically. It's the worst feeling. And especially because if you do have that feeling, it's hard to not think about it and it's hard for it not to affect your trading. So I always say, if you have money to request it because you don't want to go through losing it. But that's just me. Everyone's different. It's just from my experience, it was a horrible experience to like lose that payout. It sucks. You don't want to go through that. But alright, guys. That was it for me. I'm gonna call it a day here. I could stick around and look at the charts, but I'm not gonna place another trade. I already got my winning trade. It was a really good trade. If it wasn't for the consistency rule, I would have held it to at least 360. But I closed it out at just a 1 to 2, which is fine. Well, alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.